This is the HomeTech Podcast for Friday, December 6th. From Sarasota, Florida, I'm Seth Johnson.
From Reynoldsburg, Ohio, I'm TJ Huddleston.
And from Pickering, Ontario, I'm Gavin Campbell.
And welcome to the HomeTech Podcast, a podcast all about home automation, home technology. I have here in the show notes, it says warm up. It's cold in Florida. I don't know if you guys know this.
Please don't complain.
How cold is it?
Do not complain.
What did we discover? It was like 7C, whatever, 5C? I don't know. 5. And in freedom units, it's like 46 in the morning, 45 in the morning. So.
Wow, that's cold.
Yeah, I mean, that verges on, I think, iguanas falling out of the tree. I've been checking, and the iguanas, it says iguanas have been safe. So I haven't seen any news stories, but temperatures under 50 degrees, it says that's when it can immobilize iguanas. I haven't caught the little thing going off. I think it has to go for some time, and I think I programmed it in for like a couple of days of cold weather.
Yeah, we've been hovering around the 20s every night here, and then the 40s during the day. So it's pretty cold. And my den, my 3 seasons room, when I go out there in the morning, it's like 40 degrees. So it wakes me up immediately.
Yeah, you if you had an iguana in there, it would definitely fall on your head.
Oh, if I had an iguana in there, it would definitely be dead. And if you can't tell this week, I am also sick. That nice cold weather that's going around, everybody up here is sick. So if I'm a little nasally this week, that's probably why.
Gavin, did the cold weather get to you too?
The cold weather finally made it to us, and we got some snow this week, but it was like a centimeter of snow. So Ooh. I just pulled out the leaf blower and blew it all off.
It's a white Christmas.
Yeah, it was not. It was all right, but it's cold. It's cold.
I think the cold without snow is the worst. Because you just look outside and you know that you're going to be cold. But when it's snow, it's like, well, that makes sense because, it's got to be cold for snow. Mm-hmm. But when you don't have any snow, it's a little depressing.
I feel bad for the people just north of us. They got like 4.5 feet of snow, and then they expect another couple more feet. They're just getting hammered. In the city here, we haven't gotten much, but a lot of Tesla people complaining about unable to open their doors and stuff like that, but
that's a Tesla problem.
Yeah.
No, it's like these people own the Teslas, and then people are like, go into the app. There's a button that pops the door open, or there's a way to do this, but people just like to complain. I can't open my Tesla door.
Yeah. Northern Ohio got hit with like 3 feet of snow, like right on Lake Erie and stuff like that. And we've gotten absolutely nothing in Central Ohio. So,
well, I don't know what snow is, but we don't have any of that down here, and it's just nice and cool. And it's been kind of pleasant the last couple of days. Mornings are a little chilly.
Now is the good time to go to Florida.
Yeah, this is
as long as you're not trying to go to the ocean, I guess. But
this is what we paid for this weather. we paid for it this year in so many ways. Anyway, speaking of paying for things you don't have to pay. Well, I guess let's talk about things you did pay for. Anybody grab anything on Black Friday?
Way too much. I still have, it's so bad. I still have boxes coming in. It's like, and I feel bad. I wish Amazon would group them up. I could wait and group them up, and I'll bring them all on Friday or something. But they come and they drop one small package today and then one small package tomorrow. And it feels like such a waste. And it's like, but I ordered way too much, I think.
What kind of, did you get any home technology stuff, Gavin, or was it all different kind of stuff?
All different kind of stuff. I usually like to stock up on my batteries. So when I look for deals on batteries and grab those for all the different devices. But I grabbed a Yellow sensor for my freezer. Oh. I like them because they have a really thin cable on it, and the sensor you actually can put in and leave the main module of the unit on the outside. And I like that because then the battery's not in the cold. You don't have to worry about that. So I grabbed one of those. I think, was it you that told me about the barrel travel router, Seth?
Yeah.
Yes. I grabbed the AX3200.
I think it's the same one I had. I saw you put a picture of it.
Yeah. Yep. I grabbed one of those. I grabbed actually a few travel things. So with that router, I also grabbed a Fire TV and a little charging mat from Anchor that you could charge 3 devices on, So I have my little travel kit of devices going. I grabbed a couple SSD drives for my Unraid server. Always good to upgrade, add extra to my cache, or I grabbed just an extra one to put my app data on directly, which I later found out that there's a better way of doing app data, where you can make the share exclusive, so it bypasses the file system of Unraid and increases performance. And I saw, it's pretty cool. I posted about that on my Mastodon if you want the real details behind it.
I'll go look there.
Yep. I grabbed a Sonos Ray. Now, I know this is not a popular Sonos device with people, but for the price it was, I was like, what the hell? I'll just buy it for my basement TV. It's better than the speakers. It gives me another AirPlay device. It sounds better. I'm not putting it in a home theater or anything like that, right? It's just to make the TV sound better. And for the price it was worth the grabbing. I don't know if you guys grabbed anything. I still have packages coming in, so I lost track of what else I ordered at this point.
I was kind of lame for Black Friday. The only thing I picked up is I picked up a pair of Ray-Ban Meta glasses. I picked up a set or a pair like a couple months ago, and I really liked them, but I wanted transition lenses.
Yes.
And so this time they went on sale. I think they were like $80 or $90 off. And so I picked those up, and I'm giving them a shot again. I'm trying to make some videos of installations and stuff like that with them. So we'll see how that goes.
I tried those the other day, and if anyone's curious, I was so surprised at the quality of the audio in it. I was shocked actually, because the speaker I think is just over ear.
Yeah, it's like bone conducting in a way, I think.
Yeah, it was so clear. So, like if you're worried about that, don't worry, it sounds actually pretty good.
Well, and what I really like about them too is that they're actual glasses with being technology second. Like they obviously have cameras or something like built into them. They're thicker and everything like that. But like they don't feel like too heavy on your face. And they like I don't think they stick out way much like some of the other smart glasses have in the past. So I like them, so we'll see. I wish they kind of had some more AI stuff built into it, but you can like have Meta AI tell you what it's looking at, which is kind of cool. And so if I'm like looking at a flower or a boat or whatever it is, I can be like, what am I looking at? And it can describe it to me. And it does a decent job. So what about you, Seth? Anything?
Yeah. First, I think I'm going to lose our friendly wager of Patrick Smith's getting fired because tomorrow's December 6th, and I don't think he's gone yet. But I'm going to have to blame, I don't know, Gavin playing interference there, boosting their
what the heck?
their performance by buying Sonos stuff. So.
Well, it was kind of depressing because they lost a lot of money in the last quarter, I think. Didn't they?
He may be gone yet.
So I
wonder why.
I may not be helping, with this.
Well, let's see. I got one of these things. Let's see. Let's just turn it where you can read it.
Oh, I've been waiting to get one of those. Yes.
The Emporia View 3, I guess.
Yes.
Oh, it's a 3. Yeah. Yeah. It's I'm going to just put it over there on the shelf and I'll get to it one day, I'm sure.
Oh, geez. Did you get the 16 sensor model?
Yeah, it's really heavy. I just dropped it, so I hope it's okay.
I'm sure.
The Sense thing that I have has been locking up for a while, and I looked back. I was like looking at it, and I'm like, it hasn't read for about a month. It hasn't been on, and it's like, come on, like it's supposed to be sitting there just casually logging data, and of course, like it doesn't. It just kind of guesses to what's on anyway. So it's just kind of, I don't know. Now, I'm gonna hook this thing up, and we'll see if it gets, it does better. So one of these days, I'll pop the cover on that horrible circuit box I have. It's like full of wires and everything.
Oh, man.
I'm not looking at that. I'm not looking forward to that, I guess.
That part is terrifying. I have to I have to like open mine back up because for some reason my 30 amp breaker for my UPS isn't registering with Emporia, and so I need to like open my panel up to clamp it on or something like that, and I'm not looking forward to that because it's a cluster. I think we've posted a picture of my panel before. It is a nightmare. So
yeah, yours is a nightmare.
Yeah.
I mean, mine doesn't look much better. It's absolutely chock full of breakers and circuit. There's like so many circuits in there. It's like, why did they put all these wires in? Why couldn't they have just put 2 wires together? I think I even have 2 wires that I put together because there's like 3 rooms or 2 rooms of ceiling lights. It's like, they're just ceiling lights. Like what could you possibly put on? Why do you need a whole 20 amps for that or 15 amps for that? That doesn't make any sense. I have too many circuits in my panel. I guess that's better than the alternative.
Well, power is terrifying. I have a quick little story here. So we were installing a TV for a client this week and installed a new outlet. So I had to like turn off the power for the existing outlet, and I ran the Romex wire and everything and go to turn the breaker back on. I turned it on. Everything works fine. And I was like, there's this other breaker that's off for some reason. Do you remember if that was on or off? And the homeowner was like, I don't remember. I mean, it was probably on. And so I turned it on and it killed the power for the entire house. And it just like boom. And I was like, what?
I think that one's off. Yeah, you're supposed to leave that one off.
Yeah. Come to find out, I had a piece of black tape on there that came off. So I was just like, what do we do? And I was like, well, you should get that removed immediately because that should not happen.
Something's wrong with that.
Terrifying.
It doesn't get better in the big houses either. I was at a client's house. They had the electrician out there looking at some stuff, and he's like, I turn the power off here, and I still get power over there.
That's not good.
It's like it's supposed to turn off the entire thing, but for whatever reason, like there's 2 breakers hooked up to that side of the house, and he's asking me like, "Do you know how it was wired?" I'm like, "No, man. You're the electrician. I bet if you got in the attic, you could probably figure it out." He did not go into the attic, so
yeah. People do all kinds of crazy stuff with electrical. They're just like, and then it makes me feel better about my stuff because I'm like, well, if my stuff, if my stuff, or if their stuff hasn't burned down, then my stuff's not going to burn down, right?
In theory,
yeah.
Yeah,
I found like wires spliced in my walls and stuff, just electrical tape together. That's fine.
Just whatever. As long as the fridge powered on, who cared?
They're not touching.
Well, speaking of stuff, we talked about stuff we paid for. Stuff we don't have to pay for. We're giving away some stuff. We're giving away some of these Apollo H1s, which I've got one sitting on my desk here, and I'll see if it. No, I changed the setting on it. I think I changed the deep sleep setting or something, and it goes to sleep now. I have to unplug it and plug it back in for whatever reason. So now it'll work, and I'll. There we go. Jingle bells. Which we'll talk about later.
I got mine last week. I need to flash it with the custom firmware, though. I haven't got it attached to Home Assistant yet.
Oh, yeah. I got it. Once you hook it up to Home Assistant, it's got all sorts of fun stuff you can do to it, including breaking it by putting it into deep sleep mode. So don't flip that switch, whatever that means. Because then you have to, I guess, reset it to wake it up. I don't know. It's a fun little device, and I would highly recommend it. If you want one of these, head on over to HomeTech.fm. Look in the show notes. There'll be a button there that says, I don't know, click here to win one of these things. And next week's show, we'll announce who's winning. We'll ship them out, I guess, at that point. TJ's got stamps.
Yeah, so that way you get them before the holidays. They'll ship right from our warehouse in Kentucky. So,
right.
Wait, who's shipping them? Seth, right?
No. Apollo is shipping them. I've already talked to them about it. So
okay,
they're sending it directly to the person.
Because if it was Seth shipping it, we didn't specify what holidays you'd get it before.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, then Seth would have to like design some custom card for it and everything, and then we'd have to wait 3 months for it to get printed on and everything.
Yeah,
I already did it. It should be arriving.
You did not already do it. Stop. I know that's a lie.
It's our pictures with little hats on it. Christmas
hats.
Oh yeah. No, I didn't do that. But what I did do is put the little form up. So there's a form on the website. Go there, sign up, and put your address in if you want to win one of these. It's adorable. It's adorable little Christmas tree, and it's number 1. There'll be another one next year.
That's right.
And all of them, all the proceeds of it go to charity. I haven't looked at what they've been making recently.
I think it was like $2,500 last I looked.
Yeah, it kept growing.
If you don't want to, if you don't have one of these, register for it, and we're giving away 2 of them or something next week.
Yeah, $2,500 as of 12/3. So
very nice.
That's pretty good. That's a lot of money.
Very cool. HomeTech.fm, and you should see the button on the show notes there for this show and the previous show. It'll be the same form. Well, I guess I can do that. I wonder if I can. I don't know. Maybe just go to the last week's show notes and look at the show notes. There'll be a button on one of them, and then click it, and you can register for it. So. That said, guys, we got a bunch of HomeTech headlines that came in under the radar this week. What do you say we get started?
Let's do it.
The Federal Trade Commission here in the U.S. has issued a warning that manufacturers of smart devices may be violating the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act if they fail to disclose the duration of software support. After reviewing 184 smart products across 64 categories, the FTC found that the majority did not provide clear information on software support timelines. Only about 11% of the devices examined disclose this information on their product pages. Additionally, when manufacturers do share software support details, the information is often hard to find buried in the specs, FAQs, or footnotes. The FTC noted that inconsistencies such as claims of lifetime support that were contradicted by the actual support timelines. Of course, you always buy something. It's like, it's good for life. And then the company just goes out of business. The agency suggests that the lack of transparency in software support could mislead consumers and potentially violate the FTC Act. The FTC report calls for law enforcement and policymakers to ensure vendors properly disclose software support commitments, as well as a letter from 17 consumer advocacy groups urging the FTC to address this issue, where devices relying on embedded software linked to manufacturers' servers may stop working. We talked about this for a long time. Like, there's nothing on these devices that kind of indicates on like how long they're going to work, if they're going to work. If the company's even going to be around anymore. I've got a whole shelf back there full of devices that don't work anymore because of this very issue. So this is good to see. Finally the industry has to grow up a little.
Yeah, there needs to be something. I mean, because there's so much e-waste, and it's a bunch of random products out there that are probably never going to get firmware updates, or they're just the company's going to go under, or whatever it is, and they'll never be usable again. And we shouldn't be doing that, right? I mean, if a company that makes your fridge goes out of business, you can still use the fridge. And I understand that cloud servers are different because it does require somebody else's computer. There's other ways to build these devices to where it doesn't have to rely on those features. And there should be some kind of safe mode or non-network mode or whatever you want to call it that allows you to use the device in a basic fashion.
Totally agree with everything you said. And I just want to add too is security here, like if a device is no longer going to get security updates but it's still being used by somebody, the chance of it becoming a botnet or something is pretty high, depending on whatever vulnerability. And we should get those kind of devices out of there, either have them patched continuously, and if that's not possible, we need to get them off as soon as there's a vulnerability found. And you got to get that message out to the users to say, hey, this device is vulnerable. You don't want it in your house, and I'm sure they wouldn't want it in their house.
Yeah, I mean, well, we just got to the point where we're not setting default passwords anymore. So I don't know. This could take a little while to get out there, but we'll have to see what happens here. There's a lot that could happen. There's a lot of ways that they could fix this, but it's interesting that they're like coming out so strongly saying, hey, there's this law out there that you guys may be violating. And what would it take for like, I think it'd have to be like a big player like Apple or something like that for the feds to go after anybody. It had to be a pretty big product to just like stop working. maybe Sonos. I don't know. Not enough people have that one. I'm just thinking like Apple or Google. It may be Google. Maybe Google cancels one of their phones or something that a lot of people have, or Android or something like that. I don't know. Maybe that may happen anyway. Who knows? See what happens with this court case. Chrome's going away, guys. I swear. It's gonna disappear.
Yeah. We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll see.
Gonna get Microsoft.
Right now, Chrome's the only browser on my computer that seems to be working, so I hope not.
I've tried everything else, and I always come back to Chrome. I'm not sure what it is. I think it's just like familiarity at this point or something, but I like Chrome out of everything else, so.
I'm one of the few that probably still uses Firefox, actually.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Anybody uses Firefox.
Oh, well, there's one add-on specifically that I'm stuck with, and it's called In My Pocket, and it's a front end to like the Pocket link saver, but it just works so good, and it's the main reason. The other reason is they can't lock down Firefox at my work like how they do Chrome and Edge, so I can get away with some other stuff.
Truth comes out. Now, Firefox is actually really good. It's there's a lot of like security features that it gets first, and they actually turn on by default first. Like, and I say get first. Like, there's these like little codes and you can type in. I forget what they are because I used Firefox years ago. But you can go in and like change really deep settings within Firefox. I think Chrome has the same thing, but Firefox generally pushes out like security related and privacy related features well in advance of the rest of the industry, and very much in advance of Chrome doing anything, because that's, all your data is going to an advertising company at that point, which is why it's going away. But yeah, it'll be interesting. Like I said, I can't, for some reason, single clicks have stopped working in my Safari browser today. I don't know why. It's time for a new computer. I'm going to have to switch over. ahead of time here.
Get you an M4 Ultra, whatever.
I do. I have one right here. Got the Mac Mini sitting here. I just haven't really plugged it in.
Come on. Well, that's all right. We'll have a couple weeks off at the end of the month, so.
Yeah, it'll happen.
You'll definitely do it then.
Yeah, it'll happen. Yeah, I got to plug it in. I can wiggle a mouse and it'll turn on a screen. And that's about as far as I've gotten. So anyway, let's move on here. Ikea has enhanced its smart home app by introducing a dynamic lighting feature for its smart lights, enabling automatic adjustment of color, temperature, and brightness throughout the day. This is basically just like Philips Hue's natural lighting, or what's the one? Adaptive lighting, I think is what Apple calls it. It's gonna, I guess this brings us stuff over to the weird IKEA lights that they have through their software. They have a picture of the Sonos. Does that have the ability to change the color? I don't even know. It includes products like its Sonos compatible symphonic speaker lamp. So there you go.
Yeah, I don't remember if they actually came with a bulb for that one. I think you had to buy it separately, but I actually never bought one, so I'm not really sure. I know you could buy the shades separately as well.
Yeah.
Like you could just buy the base, and then you could buy the shades and stuff like that. But IKEA does sell adaptive light bulbs, so that's probably what they're really getting at.
So you get the Sonos speaker lamp thing that looks like, I mean, this thing has always looked like a tea saucer or something with a HomePod sitting on top of it with one of those lamp shades that goes onto a fan. Like
you just described it perfectly.
Yeah. Upside down though. It's probably the ugliest thing I've ever seen, but I kind of want one too. I don't think they make them anymore though.
Hey, it's a functional speaker. You know, everybody else is out here building these tiny little hockey puck speakers, and IKEA's like, no, your speaker needs to turn on lights.
You need to have this ugly lampshade on top of it.
And honestly, the only one that I really wanted, I wanted the IKEA art speaker thing.
Yeah.
It was basically like an art print that you put on your wall, because those actually looked pretty decent. I could just never figure out the cable thing. I figured you'd have to like run the cable in the wall somewhere else, but
I guess the speaker lamp still exists. It has an even uglier shade that on the newer one here. $249 though.
Nice. Yeah, they're very expensive.
Well, yeah. Not as expensive as, well, it's just about as expensive as Sonos, I guess.
But adaptive lighting, I think adaptive lighting is going to be one of those things we're going to see a lot more of in 2025. I don't know if it's going to be like a major thing or not, but I think a lot more manufacturers are going to adopt it because it does make a big difference. And it's a step above just like normal motion lights. Anybody can just like turn on lights whenever it detects motion and everything like that, but it's nice to have it automatically adjust the brightness. And so that way it's one less step you have to deal with.
Very nice. Good job. I'm going to take it. I'm not going to take it back. It's still ugly as sin, but like they have newer shade options for this thing now that you can swap it out for. And it actually does make it look better than the old one. I guess they even have a floor stand option that looks like it makes it look like one of the aliens in that what was that movie with Tom Cruise, the old radio show, and War of the Worlds. It looks like an alien from War of the Worlds. So there you go.
If you think that's weird, just look at it. Have you seen it by itself with like no shade on it? Here you go. Look at this. Could you imagine just walking around and seeing that in somebody's house? It
looks better.
Like, what's up with your air refresher there?
All right. Well, let's move on here. A little update for Homey as well. They've unveiled new customizable dashboards for their smart home platform aimed at simplifying the control of connected devices. These actually look pretty good. They remind me of something. I can't quite put my finger on it. I don't know. Very similar.
Wouldn't be HomeKit, would it?
No, not HomeKit. It's Home something else. I don't know. It's really weird. Oh well.
No, I do like this. I think I would like it if my home assistant looked like this. Well.
Yours doesn't. Mine looks like this.
Yeah, well, how many hours did you spend on it?
Too many, but it's doable.
You need an integration that tells you how long you spend on certain areas in Home Assistant, so that way we can know.
Brilliant. Oh my gosh.
How long you spend programming.
Yeah, like, you know those video games where you can go into the stats page?
Yeah, high score.
It tells you, not high score. It'll just tell you like how many hours you spent, like.
Is it like a Home Assistant Unwrapped?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
You spent 5 days in automations.
Total 5 years of editing YAML.
You'd live 7 years longer if you didn't touch any YAML this year.
You guys are really making me feel bad. This is something we do not want to know these stats. I saw an Outlook plugin that somebody was talking about that would show you the cost of a meeting based on average salaries and stuff like that. And
that's fantastic.
You start looking at meetings differently, and you realize this 1 hour meeting just cost us $10,000. You
Yep.
know, these are things you don't want to know. You know, how much time my home assistant's costing me. I don't want to know. You know what? I don't even think about it as time or money when I'm enjoying what I do, fixing things every month.
Well, if you don't want to know, you can switch over to Homey Pro. That rhymes. And you get these 25 Homey widgets with third-party widgets as well. They've got built-in feature they've got graphs and energy for temperature and energy usage, device control, Homey flow automations, weather updates, and camera integration. So it actually looks really nice. Good job, Homey. I don't know how much YAML you have to edit. Probably none, but it looks pretty good.
Definitely no YAML. Just LG WebOS or whatever.
All right, let's move on here. We've got an interesting, we got a bunch of new Matter products actually hitting this week. We talked about Meross last week. They've also, I think they introduced 3 products that were Matter related. Now they're going to introduce their first Matter certified smart thermostat. It's compatible with North American HVAC system and priced at $99.99. There you go. Thermostat operates over Wi-Fi, features a nice little sleek white glass panel with a touchscreen, and offers smart scheduling, all the good stuff that you pretty much expected to use. It does require a C-wire and makes it compatible with about 95% of the heating and cooling systems out there. It can integrate with Meross. I don't know how to spell it. Meross, whatever. They're Matter compatible temperature and humidity sensors as well. Matter certification allows it to integrate with all the platforms: Apple Home, Amazon Alexa, Google Home, Samsung SmartThings without needing a cloud connection. Really cool. TJ, you had thoughts on this when we looked at it earlier.
Yeah, I like that it's one of the few Matter options you have available for a thermostat. So it's good to see that product category is expanding. I'm not a fan of the overall looks, though. I've installed similar thermostats from Alarm.com. I don't understand what the appeal of is like an all white screen with like white LED lettering is. Because like when it's in direct sunlight, it's very hard to see. And when I saw the photos of the Alarm.com one initially, I was like, it can't be that bad. But I have to tell you, it's pretty bad. So I'm not really sure that this is a good idea, but it is cheap. It's only $100. So,
and launch price is $69. So
nice.
Get it while it's hot.
Yeah. So I mean, it's not a bad price, but I don't like the design. I don't think it's a good idea.
But for that price and the fact that it works with temperature and humidity sensors, that's a killer feature right there. I love with my Ecobee, I have sensors around the house. It works with those, and it adjusts based on, where we are, or, I have a mode where when the fireplace is on, don't, only account for certain sensors, stuff like that, right? That seems to be a minimum when you're looking for a smart thermostat now for me, is it has to have external sensors that you can utilize in your automations or routines and stuff like that. And for this price, that's really good.
That's a killer price for a smart home thermostat. And it doesn't look terrible, TJ. I mean, ideally, you'd never have to go up and push buttons on that anyway, right? Like if the smart sensors work and the software they use works to cool your house or heat your house in all the zones that you have sensors in, ideally, you'd never have to go and look at that thing. You'd never have to go mess with it. I say that. I never touch my Ecobee thermostat. Like I walk by it from time to time.
Same here. Everything's routines now, so I never touch the thermostat at all. I even tell the A-lady if I want to adjust the temperature. Like, I don't have to actually go to it, so it's pretty nice like that. Like, you could just hide this away, spray paint it black if you want.
I think that's what they were designing for. It is white on white. I agree. It's hard to see a little bit, even in their product shots. It's kind of hard to see. Maybe it's even worse in person. Who knows? But I mean, they're just trying to make it hide away, I guess. That might work.
Well, I guess I'm just old because I turn my Mac Mini off all the time and I touch my thermostat all the time. So
wow.
You go blind, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I don't know. I've only rebooted this computer, twice tonight. I guess it's time for a new computer. Other than that, it's been on for months.
Once you get to rebooting computers, it's time for a replacement.
Yeah, I mean, it needs to be scrapped now. I can't trust it. If I have to reboot it,
throw it in the river.
Once you have to reboot it, get a new one. Just turn it off.
That's right.
That's my rule.
If this computer ever turns off, I'm buying a new one.
I'm buying a new one. Don't trust it anymore.
You've let me down. Don't let me down.
We got a SwitchBot releasing a Matter product here. 2 Matter certified relays. SwitchBot has released 2 Matter certified smart relays designed to upgrade traditional devices into smart ones without needing to replace existing switches. These relays, the 1 p.m. and the Relay Switch 1, support Matter over Wi-Fi, which basically eliminates the need for a SwitchBot hub. They also include Bluetooth radios to function as range extenders for other Bluetooth-based SwitchBot devices. Price is pretty competitive on these. This is in euro. So on Amazon, in the EU, it's 21 euros or 22 euros for the 1 p.m. and then 20 euros for the 1. That's pretty good.
Yeah, honestly, I think this, from what I can tell, this is the first SwitchBot device that does not require their hub. All of them have been kind of standalone with like Bluetooth. But if you wanted Matter or if you wanted Matter, you had to use their hub no matter what. I don't know of any other device they have that doesn't use their hub. Maybe the robot vacuum mop thing. But like every other smart home device they have uses Bluetooth and connects to the hub. So that's kind of interesting to see this difference here.
It looks like, and they look like Shelly devices.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, they look just like Shelly devices. Just tiny little relays. So what's the difference between them?
Dry contact.
Oh yeah, so one is for single channel circuits. The other one is dry contact for doorbells and whatever else. So, and that's not a bad price difference between the two of them anyway. So I can see them selling a lot of these.
It's like it's mostly, I mean, it's kind of aimed at the European market, but I don't know. Like it'll probably work its way over here.
Yeah, I imagine so.
We'll see them soon. All right. Well, another thing from Level. We talked about Level, I think last week or the week before. I'm not sure, but they've been upgrading their devices over to Matter over Thread, and they're going to do that with the Bolt Smart Lock. They're going to do that with the Bolt Smart Lock as well. That's hard to say. It's priced at $229, and this is going to be a free upgrade to existing Bolt users. So, yay! Another Matter device, another device getting updated for Matter.
That's good, especially locks too, because there's not that many Matter locks. So, it's good to see this. And I've never used the Level lock, but I like the look of it. So, I think it's a good option for a lot of people.
And the upgrade's free, so that's even better.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to buy a hub or anything like that. Like, they're just going to update it. There you go.
Good job, Level.
All right. Well, all the links and topics we discussed tonight can be found over in our show notes at HomeTech.fm/508. All right, guys. No pick of the week this week. We're skipping everything because a mystery has been solved.
Oh, this is awesome.
I was sitting at my desk today, staring at a computer screen, and this little thing, the email popped up from somebody submitting feedback on our feedback form, HomeTech.fm/feedback. And Keith wrote in, and here's his message here. This is it. Hi, I wanted to say hi from the island of Guernsey, a smaller island next to the original Jersey. Famous for our cows, jumpers, and one of our local heroes, Isaac Brock. He even saved Canada from the U.S. back in the day. It's true, he did. Our IP addresses sometimes get mixed up with Jersey, so I may be your single Jersey listener. Longtime listener and love the show. Have a great Christmas. I think we found him, guys. I think he's here, Keith.
I'm blown away. I'm like so amazed that
we found you.
Actually, like, you know what this feels like? This feels like when Seth like finishes a project. You know, it's like a celebration. You know, you just feel so good. Oh man, hi Keith.
Well, Keith from Guernsey, yes. Hi, and thanks for listening. This is pretty awesome. I did look up Guernsey. It looks beautiful. I don't know if you guys have been over to the Wikipedia page. We'll link it in the show notes. You know what, Guernsey, you're the pick of the week. Thanks to Keith and Isaac Brock. You're a hero over there for the UK. Fended off, I guess, the U.S. from taking over Montreal. So there we go.
Yeah, I even learned like some Canadian history that
Canadian history
about Isaac Brock, you know, and Lower Canada. He even was in Detroit too. He was fighting over in Detroit. So there's a lot of history there. He
got around,
from Guernsey,
a little tiny island, 24 square miles, right there in the Channel. More north of, like right north of France, I guess. It's probably closer to France than it is to England, it looks like. Amazing.
Contact us back with your address. We'll send you an ornament.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's had to, no hand delivering, but
no hand delivery.
Although I will say, like, I would like to go here. It looks like a pretty good tourist destination. It has nice they have castles. I think TJ,
I mean, who doesn't love castles?
I think we need to send them some stickers at least, because like we're pretty good about, being put in front of castles. I think that's happened.
That's true.
So, and
man, this does look like a beautiful place.
it does.
I'm looking at a picture of it, and I mean, they have one picture from a plane covering the whole island, so that's how big it is. Like you can.
I mean, do you have space for me, Keith? Can I come crash with you?
There's a couple beaches there too. Those look like some nice beaches.
Yeah.
I will hand deliver the ornament.
That water's cold, but it still looks like a beautiful island. The Guernsey Cliffs. I've heard of the Guernsey Cows too, amazingly enough. So yeah, it's a famous place there, and for a tiny little island right off the French coast. So there we go.
Well, I can't find any flights over there, so I don't think I can hand deliver it, unfortunately.
No, actually, in the Wikipedia article, I think they even have like the loan, transport. There's one airline that goes there. It's called Argony Air Services. It takes off from Bristol Airport. So there we go.
Where does it land? Is it a helicopter?
No, it's a seaplane looking thing.
Oh,
like they have in the
okay.
like they have in the Bahamas.
Okay. So round trip from Bristol, UK is only $170.
Oh yeah, the flights are cheap over there.
So I mean, that's not bad. I mean, you fly over to the UK for like $1,000.
Well, you're saying that's not bad, but the people in the UK are falling out of their chairs right now hearing those prices. I mean, they get around for like $60. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, the cheapest flights I could find are like $90 to Florida. So, and nobody wants to go to Florida.
Wow, you guys have cheap flights. Don't even ask.
Well, everything in Canada is ridiculous, so you can't really compare.
Here's the Guernsey Gosh is what I was interested in. It's a special bread made of raisins, sultanas, and a mixed peel. So yeah, I'm all in for foods. It sounds like they have good foods.
All right, so $1,000 for me to get from Columbus to Bristol, round trip, and then $200 to get to Guernsey. It's not bad.
Yeah, not bad.
Right on my way, Keith.
Well, Keith, thanks so much for listening. And this is absolutely amazing. I didn't think we'd ever hear from anybody on this, and it's kind of been a running joke for a while. But now that we found you, we're gonna have to find those 2 or 3 listeners in Jamaica. So if you're in Jamaica,
hit us up.
Yeah, hit us up. Slightly better chance of us visiting.
And you know what? If you're from an island close to Jamaica, take the chance. Maybe your IP is going through Jamaica for some reason. So, just let us know you're close to Jamaica, you're listening, you enjoy the show,
Especially like
I might be going to Jamaica next year, so I can actually hand deliver you something.
There we go. Like I said, is a slightly better chance of us hand delivering something to Jamaica. So all right, very cool. Thanks, Keith, so much for writing in. You've made Guernsey proud. They're the pick of the week this week. And I learned a lot about looking through Wikipedia articles on Guernsey this afternoon. So thanks for writing in and letting us know you're there. Appreciate it. If you have any feedback, questions, comments, picks of the week, or great ideas for show, give us a shout. Our email address is feedback@HomeTech.fm, or you can visit HomeTech.fm/feedback and fill out the online form. All right, project updates and Home Assistant updates. Home Assistant, this is kind of big news, I guess. The Home Assistant Yellow gets CM5 support. So that's the Compute Module 5, which is the newest version of the Raspberry Pi Compute Module computer, right? It was just the CM4 was what they launched with. And then the CM5 came out, and now they're saying it'll work, I guess.
Yep, that's big news for people that are looking to do a little upgrade. They can just swap it in and it should work. But you have to have the latest Home Assistant OS 14, so make sure you have that.
Yep, you get improved speed and faster backups and reboots. So there you go.
Yeah, this is kind of the advantage of using the compute module. I mean, it's very similar to like a Raspberry Pi, like the regular, I guess what you'd consider the normal Raspberry Pi. But it's nice because this is a little chip and you just plug it right in and it's good to go. There's not like, it's kind of like RAM, just plug it right in.
Well, and it says the CM4 should be powerful enough for most users and it has a long life ahead. While Raspberry Pi has confirmed that they will fully support the CM4 until 2034.
Wow.
And will continue to manufacture them. So yeah.
That's crazy.
That's a while. There's an article we'll put in the show notes. If you've got one of these boxes here, this might be a good upgrade for you. And you can check it out and see. I don't know. CM4 seems like it'd be good enough. I'd probably get that.
Yeah, it'd probably be fine for now, but
yeah.
Go for it.
If you're a pro user like Gavin with his 1,000 cores.
Yeah, exactly. And then the last release of the year, Home Assistant 2024.12 has been released. lots of stuff in this. I think there was something broke for
Everything breaks.
Sonos, right? So our Sonos broke or something like that. I've been seeing people complain about Sonos.
I thought Alexa broke.
Everyone complains about Sonos. I don't blame it on Home Assistant.
Yeah, I was going to say Sonos is Sonos.
No, I'm sure they broke it, but then I think there was an update already to fix the Sonos thing, and then and it's been fixed. So,
but
not Sonos, Spotify. Sorry, wrong S company that has music related to it. But yeah, Spotify. Spotify audio feature sensors have been removed since Spotify removed access for them starting November 27. I guess there was a problem or something like that. So
even if you didn't upgrade it, you would have had broken sensors, it sounds like, anyway. So doesn't really matter. So while I go through some of the new stuff, why don't you go ahead and click update on your Home Assistant?
Update.
We'll do this live on the show. He's clicking update now. But some of the other things in the new Home Assistant 2024.12, a lot of voice updates. So they showed how it was much faster. They also had a feature to fall back to an LLM model, so you can have it process locally first, and if it can't handle that, then it falls back, which is pretty cool. I was actually playing around with that before the show. And they've come out and said they're going to be releasing new hardware, their new voice assistant hardware on the 19th.
That's awesome.
So they have a live stream set up. A lot of people are excited. We'll be watching. So that will be on December 19th. Keep your eyes open if you're looking to get into the Home Assistant voice assistant. On top of that, they added quality scales for integrations. Music Assistant is now integrated. It's no longer a Hacks component. Nice quality of life improvement when editing your YAML files. It will show errors in the UI.
Genius.
Or, yeah, exactly. They added a new feature where you can edit scenes now. So a lot of people got excited about this because when you were editing scenes before, as soon as you went to edit them, they would trigger and everything would close and open and whatever. And it was really annoying to edit scenes. Well, they added this little edit mode, or I think that's what they call it, where you can now kind of edit it. You can edit in YAML mode, or you can edit a few things, but if you still want to edit the actual scene in the GUI, it will trigger it still. So I think this is one of those where people are going to be like, oh, this is so awesome, but as soon as they go use it, they'll be like, what the heck? And speaking of what the heck, this is the month of what the heck at Home Assistant. So what they're doing is they open up their forum, and you can go in their forum and give your what the heck, contributions, and just tell what annoys you, what bugs you, what is not there, whatever you want. And they'll review them all in the forum, and there's already hundreds in there. Like I went to submit, I had 5 what the hecks I wanted to submit. Yeah, I cut it down to 5 because I only have so much time. But I slimmed it down to 5, and I did a search first and found that other people were already submitted them. So I just had to add votes. So that saved me some time. So search for the what the heck, see if somebody already has the same problem, submit it, add the vote, and it's not guaranteed that it will get fixed, but it will bring it to awareness of the developers, so if it's something easy, maybe they'll just do something quick. But yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for Home Assistant, which, every month, every week, it seems like there's Home Assistant news. They seem to be one of the most busiest home automation platforms out there. Like, there's always news when it comes to Home Assistant.
Well, and the crazy thing is that, there's professionals that are using it too, and they're building their professional products off of it as well. And it is kind of crazy to watch it evolve over the years and what you're able to do with it. It truly is an incredible platform.
Yeah, I guess I'm going to talk about some of the projects, because one of the projects I was doing this last week was putting up Christmas lights, and I ended up looking at it. I've got a bunch of the little ESP devices laying around, and I ended up putting, what's it called, WLED on them to control some pixel lights. Actually, I was just going to use it as a bridge, but that's later for me to do. Right now, I was just hooking them up, and WLED is kind of nice. It's got a bunch of a horrible interface with a bunch of built-in functions. You can just integrate all these products into Home Assistant. But I was walking around plugging stuff inside the house. We have these little Christmas decorations and stuff that you'd plug in. And I had 3 or 4 or 5 of those, what are they called? The Shelly devices, the Shelly plug outlet things. I was going around just plugging those in, bringing them to the Home Assistant. I was able to go in and just make a one button press thing to turn on the Christmas lights. And it goes across, it's nice. It goes across platforms. Now, it's hard to say it was very easy to do I would say I would probably have done it. I can't say that like once the devices are in, I think Home Assistant's got everybody beat there. Like just tapping a button and bringing the device in, saying integrate this or whatever. And maybe you have to do a couple of changes of settings on the devices. But for the most part, they just go right in. The programming interface in Home Assistant's pretty awful. Like, I mean, I was like, how do I do this? Going back and forth. And then I finally asked, I had to go ask Chad because, you know, Gavin is a service. Sorry. And I didn't ask Gavin. I didn't bug him because it was late at night. And I asked Chad, and Chad told me a bunch of YAML to paste in somewhere. And I'm like, oh my God. So I really, that's my what in the world. Like the programming interface to make the automations is so clunky. Like I had to move stuff, like you could copy it. And what was nice is I copied it and it realized you wanted to copy and paste it, you know, down somewhere else and as part of the automation. And it showed up first on the little list of a million things you could search through. But man, I don't know. It seems so clunky. But as a glue device, I was really happy. Like everything, I got most everything that I want to have happen except one thing, which is basically I need to set up some kind of like Boolean condition or something like that to test off of before, you know, I have one button and I want to use that button as a toggle button for a bunch of lights, basically, you know, the button to turn on and off the Christmas lights. And I don't really see an easy way to doing that other than setting up this YAML stuff and creating this Boolean variable. And like, why isn't that like a top level thing? And then also, why is it so hard to find if it's not?
There's a what the heck for that, I think, like a global variable.
Yeah, there should be a what the heck for that.
There is a what the heck for that. And you know, you sound like a couple people. One of my coworkers pinged me, you know, one conversation with me, and he's now switching over to Home Assistant. You know, he's currently on Habitat, but now he's switching over to Home Assistant. And he said he looked at it before and he didn't like it. And then he loaded it now and he says they've come a long way, that it's so different and so much better, you know? So he's really happy with it now. And it
definitely has. Like, I don't want to disparage it. Like, yeah, it has come a super long way, especially when it comes to getting devices into the system. And there's a couple of other things in here that I'm looking at, like the calendar feature. That's kind of been a pain in my side here at the house for a while about like, it seems to me it has a calendar system built around families, like where people are and like if you're in the house or not based on your phone and that kind of thing. And it's like, that would actually be really useful, Apple. Yeah, right now my wife and I share a calendar and she puts all the stuff on it and I put all the stuff on it, but it would be better if we had something like this. And I don't know, see how this integrates with everything because that's the biggest problem. And then I have to get other people to use it. But it would be nice to have the calendar stuff built into the house, into the Home Assistant thing, which is what it says it is. So I don't know. I got to investigate that. But they've come a long way of getting devices in, but they still got a very long way to go. I mean, programming, what I was talking about, like on a Control 4 system or RTI system, URC, like it would be like 5 seconds to do. Like it's very fast. Getting the devices integrated with them may be a little bit more challenging, you know, especially since a lot of them you'd have to bring a third-party driver in, you have to go find it, download it, buy a license for it, all that stuff. Like that takes time. With Home Assistant, you click a button and it sucks all of it in, and which is kind of cool. But it two different approaches to do different systems. But like I said, I don't want to disparage it. Like as a glue device, I have in our projects like Home Assistant Glue is one of the things I did. I was very happy with the way everything got set up. I was able to go in and like group a bunch of the devices together and treat them like, you know, we press this button on the wall and all the Christmas lights turn on. And that's where I was trying to go with it. And I was able to do it. So far, so good. So far, so good. I just finished maybe updating to, I had to update the operating system as well. So that went to 14. So now I'm on 14. But I'm updated.
See, look how fast and easy that was. I was watching another YouTuber this week, Shane Watley, and he's a Apple Home guy. His YouTube channel is always about Apple Home stuff and this and that. And he finally, his latest video, he released he gave Home Assistant a try. And you know, I know this is a clickbaity type of title, but he was like, I was wrong about Home Assistant as the title. And he actually admits it in the video, and he was impressed with how good it was and how far it's come as well. So I've seen the transition over the last couple of years.
Well, one of the things I did was, and I probably shouldn't have done this, is I dumped the Home Assistant stuff into the Apple interface. Like I finally hooked that up and like it pushed all the junk over there because my wife is been complaining for a long time. Like I've been putting all these Shelly devices in. She's like, the light's not on here. Where's the light to turn that on and off? I'm like, I don't know. Like she's been complaining for a while because she just wants to go on her phone and tap the thing that she's always tapped to turn on and off lights. I'm like, yeah, it's a different thing. You know, it's not going to show up where you thought it was going to show up. And now with a couple of button presses and then a million taps on my phone to put the devices that I wanted in the right rooms. And then, oh God, I made the mistake of importing the sense thing with the bajillion sensors so got to delete that out. But yeah, yeah, the HomeKit interface needs some work now on organizing many, many devices. But just for a couple of clicks worth of work on the Home Assistant side to bring those devices in and then like, hey, here's your solution. Those lights are on there now. You can turn on and off or tell Siri to like, hey, that's a win. That's a big win.
You know what? I noticed today I was fixing my kitchen light and I added to it was already Home Assistant, but I added to the Amazon lady ecosystem and they auto discovered it and stuff. And then I said, turn on the kitchen light and she did it. But then she came with a, by the way, just to be clear or something like that, no, but this was really interesting. She goes, is this in the kitchen? And I was like, yes. And she's like, okay, thank you. And I should check to see if she...
Thank you?
No, because I'm curious if she actually moved it into the kitchen for me.
Either that or just add an alias, I guess.
Or something, yeah. So it was really... I've never heard her do that before, so it was just interesting.
Look at the A-lady getting smart.
A little quality of life thing.
Google could never do that.
Oh, they changed the app again. I can't find the damn kitchen. Where's the kitchen in my app?
Google would be like, we're discontinuing this. Never mind.
I'm just really like having all of the lights, like the Christmas lights and everything, at least an option to like shoot commands from Home Assistant out to make things turn on and off at the same time when something else turns on that it's monitoring or a button gets pressed or whatever. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Yeah. Even if it's only like a temporary thing, I can just like make that work and then flip it off. One thing did catch me. I guess when I set up my outside lights on the WLED thing initially, and I've forgotten I did this. There's a way on that little ESP board that you can have it set up to turn on at sunset and turn off at sunset. And so for a while on Home Assistant, I was like, why isn't this automation not working? Because I had a Home Assistant was setting up, to do a sunset trigger for the exterior lights for the house. And I'd come home and I wanted them green because it's Christmas. And I come home and they're yellow. I'm like, I don't want these stupid yellow lights. I want my green lights. And I'd have to turn them on every time. It's getting old. And I finally went into the WLED interface and figured out that I had checked off, activate this preset or whatever when sunset hits. And it was doing itself. So that was basically overriding whatever Home Assistant was doing. So maybe for a brief moment, I had green lights and then they turned orange and I never saw them. But now I think it's fixed. I should have green lights out there tonight.
We can't protect you from yourself.
Well, it's actually a big problem around the house too for me is they've got like stuff automated in Control 4, stuff automated in HomeKit. I've mostly done all the lighting. I moved all that over to HomeKit because it was so much easier. But there are some things that exist in Control 4 that kick on and off. And then some of the devices like this have their own triggers inside them as well that are triggering stuff off. So sometimes, I'll be walking in, I'm like, why is that light on? Who did that? Like, what did that? What I did find was nice is that Home Assistant will tell you when something happened. So you can like go back in the logs and see like, oh, this light was turned on at 5:22 p.m. What did that? And you can kind of like go around and figure out what did it. And so good on you guys for logging stuff because that's really helpful.
Yeah, and I like with theirs too. You can go to the actual device and the automation to see like when it was last triggered and everything.
Yes.
And so that way like you see everything about like the device. So that is a good feature they have.
Yeah, I caught my, I was wondering why one of the front lights kept turning off at a certain time and it was bugging me for the longest while. And I went into log and found out that the wife kept turning it off because it was shining into the bedroom. So I was like, okay, now I know why it wasn't a bug in the system. But no, just an update on the Amazon lady thing. So yeah, she actually put the device into the kitchen.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's awesome. Like, because in the past I used to add the device and have to go in and put it in the rooms and everything like that. But no, this time I added the device. And then when I used it, she actually said, is this a kitchen device? I said, yes. And she actually moved it into the kitchen. Smart and brilliant. Love it.
Siri would probably just be like, do you want me to do, yes, now it's asking me, do you want me to do a Google search on that? Like, I don't really know what to do. So.
Amazon, that's a good use of, by the way.
Yes, exactly.
I like it.
Not tell me useless tips I need.
I do more playing with that.
So yeah, I guess I'll kind of go into touch on some of the other projects I was doing. I actually did a project, guys. I got my Christmas lights up, but
What?
yeah, I dug around behind me. There's a big yellow box from Home Depot back there behind the TV that I've been storing all these Pixel LEDs in and all these like control boards and stuff for like a year or two. I don't know. I was like, I'm going to get these things out. And so I even have like the outdoor boxes that I put them in with the little fans on it, which is hilarious. When the fan kicks on, it sounds like a vacuum cleaner. This thing, I've got this thing hooked up. I've got a 300 watt power supply pushing through this thing. I'll put some links to the Mastodon post in that I made. But I went up on the roof this weekend and was kind of figuring out like maybe I can do an outline of the roof. And I figured out that I could like put a zip tie around the wire and then shove the zip tie up under the tile. And that kind of held everything into place just enough for the lights to kind of sit up there on the roof line. And it looks nice. I've got a little like moving Christmassy roofline thing, and I can change the lights around, and it's pretty easy to uninstall as well because you just go up there and kind of like give it a tug, and it comes right out. That was my project, and I still got a little bit more work to do on it to get it doing what I wanted to do, but it's okay as it is too if I never get to that. So happy with it.
Awesome.
Anybody else do some stuff?
I'm in the middle of a few projects that I'll get into the next few weeks that are pretty interesting. But lately, so I finally upgraded my Prusa MK4 to the MK4S. So if you're looking to do that yourself, the upgrade is really easy. Don't stress about it. It takes an hour or so. You just pull apart some pieces, you put on some new pieces, you get speed increases and stuff like that. So it's worth it. For the price it's worth it.
And what exactly did you get with the upgrade?
It was mainly better cooling, because they redesigned the whole cooling fan and how it's oriented and, et cetera, et cetera. So the cooling goes around the nozzle. And, with their high flow nozzles, you get 20% speed increase, so faster speeds and stuff like that. So, and then I got a GPIO board, and I can't remember the other part but I haven't played with those yet. I'm still printing stuff, enjoying the printer for what it is. And, if you have one of those old Prusa printers, upgrading to the 4 or even a Bamboo Labs where it has the auto leveling and stuff like that, it's such a quality of life improvement that you don't worry about these things anymore. You just print and it goes. So it's worth the upgrade and the extra money. The only other thing I was, I've been, what do they call it, tooting on Mastodon a bit recently, about, just things I discover. But
it's better than skeeting on Blue Sky.
Yeah,
is what they call it over there.
Blue Sky, the Blue Sky.
What do they call it?
Skeet.
Oh man.
There's actually an app that I've been using for Blue Sky called Skeets.
I'm done. I quit.
Yeah. Skeets.
That is somehow worse than Toots. I didn't think we can get worse than Toots, so we did.
There's Skeets on my home screen.
You need to stop skeeting on your home screen, Gavin.
I know. I have moved the Skeets to the second screen.
I think you need to talk to Rose about
Skeets
that.
in my folder.
I'm fine with Toots.
Yeah, Toots is better. I'm sorry I made fun of you.
And I know there's a few people out there wondering what we're laughing about and what are Skeets. All I gotta say is, if you Google it, we're about to ruin your day. That's it. We apologize.
There's a very popular song, and then yeah.
Just type in Skeet's website and you'll find it.
Just don't click on any of the pop-ups, please. Anyways, one of the things I was playing, so, I have a bunch of Sonos around the house and they're all named funny and stuff. And I was trying to rename all the AirPlay speakers to make more sense, right? And I went into the Sonos app and I couldn't rename these speakers. So they came out like you put them in rooms, but I guess you have to make the room name the device. It's kind of dumb.
You have to create a custom room name.
Yeah, it's kind of dumb. So I had to actually Google it, and it came out that once you go into the Home app and then you add the speaker in there, and then what you do is you then rename the speaker in the Home app, and now it shows up in AirPlay how you want it. So I cleaned up all my AirPlay devices, so they make a lot more sense now. But the fact that I had to Google how to do that, it just was kind of crazy. You know, like, why isn't there an option to just change the airplane name in the Sonos app? Like, wouldn't that make sense?
No, because Sonos doesn't split it into separate things. It is the speaker, and that's what it is. Whereas other companies can do that, but I don't think Sonos does that at all. Like, theirs is just whatever it is.
Like Sonos has the room. They just, you say office, and it's going to call it office speaker, I guess, right?
Right. They just call it office.
But what if you had multiple speakers in the office? Or
well, realistically, you wouldn't have multiple speakers in the office unless they were grouped together as a zone.
Oh.
So it would still show up as one zone then anyway, so it wouldn't really matter. But yeah, you just get around that by creating custom room names, and that's what I did for mine because we have little Google speakers everywhere, but we also have Sonos speakers in every room, and so I just named my Sonos just literally the room and then Sonos after it, and so that way I know exactly what it is.
Yeah, when I did that in the past though, Home Assistant started creating its own areas with all those custom names, and then that was messing all that up.
Home Assistant does create a custom room with it for some reason.
So it's I don't know why it's so difficult, but if you're looking to do that yourself, just do it in the Home app. Just want to share that bit of advice. Hopefully I help somebody out there.
Nice.
Maybe I should skeet this advice too.
You just skeet it everywhere. Skeet it all over the world, Gavin.
Yeah, skeet it out there.
To the windows and to the walls.
Yeah, from the windows to the walls. Skeet.
From the Mac to the walls.
Oh, man.
This is just, oh, man, this is a family friendly show,
We're getting removed from Apple Podcast.
I know. You know what's amazing to see this week, because I want to just extend this show because people love the 2-hour episodes, but we're showing up on people's...
I love editing them. Yeah. I really do. I mean, that's why it comes out Monday.
We're showing up on people's Pocket Cast list. I love to see people posting it. And we snuck up on Richard's Pocket Cast list, and we're even getting highlighted as the longest show they listen to. That's what I love. We're getting attention, We got to get a 3-hour show out next year. That's a goal.
Oh, man.
Well, we have a little bit to go into the longest podcast I listened to this year, which is 6.5 hours long. So,
were you listening to Hardcore History again?
I was listening. Well, yes, I was listening to the Acquired podcast and the episode about Meta or Facebook. So, it's a very, very long episode.
So, yeah. Thanks for everybody for sharing their Pocket Cast wrapped up. I'm sure we'll see a few more, and hopefully we make it in your top 5.
All right, so I have a question since we're talking about podcasts already. Do you guys listen to our show?
Well, unfortunately, I have to 3 or 4 times.
You have to. Do you listen to it once you release it though?
Yeah, I generally do because I sometimes I find something that I don't hear, and then when I'm listening to it, and then I'm like, oh,
that makes sense.
Whoops. I forgot to do that, and then I'll go back and edit it and then pop it in real fast. So
I don't want to hear some of the stuff I say, so I don't really. But I do skip to the end to see if Seth added any post-show commentary things. That's a good idea. When the show just ends, I get a little depressed. I'm like,
sorry.
Just letting you know, Seth. I enjoy the post credits.
Yeah, I posted my Pocket Cast wrapped whatever on Threads, and Jimmy commented, he was like, you don't even listen to your own show. And I was like, I honestly don't like my voice, so I don't listen to the show.
That's funny. Yeah, evidently I listened to 36 hours of our podcast last year, which is not the highest.
That's probably most out of all of us. So
Seth puts in a lot of hard work for us. We appreciate it.
He
Seth
does. He does all the work, to be honest. So we should probably buy him a Christmas gift or something.
Except for the stamp licking. TJ is our shipper. TJ will ship the most interesting things in the most interesting boxes.
That's right. This week I shipped Jimmy a Flume water meter sensor. I shipped it in a beer box. As a 12-pack of Leinenkugel cherry something or whatever it was.
It works.
And then I shipped a bunch of rocks to Richard, and it was an alarm.com camera box. So
wait, rocks?
You guys don't ship rocks to people?
I mean,
were they pet rocks?
Wait, what?
I had this idea so we planted a bunch of stuff in the garden that we talked about a couple weeks ago or a month ago or whatever it was. And I had this idea that I would take some rocks that I found around the yard and engrave them with whenever the trees were planted and what the trees are actually, what they are. And so that way, whenever I die, I get hit by a bus or something. Somebody's like, I wonder when this tree was planted. They can look at this rock and be like, oh, it was planted then. That's kind of cool.
Oh, and he's going to label the rocks. I get it.
He's gonna laser them.
Okay.
So
interesting.
Yeah.
Might as well just label one with "Here lies TJ."
That's probably why I'm going to be buried. But he's getting a new laser, so it's going to be way more powerful. And he said I'm going to be the first one to try it. So
Nice.
On your rocks. Very
Hopefully it doesn't break my rocks, though. My project I got into this week is I got sick over Thanksgiving, so I didn't really do any projects. However, Sunday I got a fire under my butt, and I was like, you know what? I really want to watch TV in the den, but I don't have any way to watch TV in the den. And so luckily I had a spare 32-inch TV at my office, and so I put that in there, and I was like, well, that's cool, but I want to watch the same thing that I'm watching in the living room in the den. And so I was like, well, I have Ethernet wire. Why don't I just run more Ethernet wire? And so I ran 2 new lines of Ethernet, Cat 6. I ran it to the den, to the laundry room where all the rack is. And I'm using a hodgepodge of cabling and hardware to get the TV from the living room to the den. And so I have a 4 output, 2 input matrix, HDMI matrix in the living room. And I've got it split off. It goes to the living room TV and it goes to the kitchen TV. And so I can watch the same thing in the living room and the kitchen. And now I have a HDMI balun that plugs into the matrix, and it goes to an Ethernet cable to the laundry room, and then from the laundry room to the den. And you don't think it would work because video can be very fickle, but it works great. The only problem is that my TV is a really cheap 32-inch like Amazon Fire TV, and it doesn't support IP control. And so my entire house turns on as you walk around. So the lights turn on, the speakers automatically group to each other, and the TVs do. But this room doesn't because it's a crappy 32-inch Fire TV. And so now I have to buy a new TV or wait till one of my clients upgrades.
I think get a new TV.
Yeah, buy a new TV.
Yeah, I probably will. I mean, a 40-inch TV is not expensive. It's like $200.
Right,
So.
right.
Or you could buy an IR blaster, for that room if you want.
For the same price or more.
Yeah, as I say, I would just buy a new TV at that point.
Broadlink's cheap though. You can get a Broadlink one.
That's one. I do have a
Or a
SwitchBot hub somewhere.
hub that has
So
it
I was about to
built
say,
in,
yeah.
I do have a SwitchBot hub, but I don't like that you don't have feedback, so you don't know if it's actually on or off. You're just sending signals every time.
So put in a power plug. Listen, we can solve this without buying a new TV.
No, we're buying a new TV.
Buy a new
Gavin.
TV.
Fine, buy a new
I'm
TV.
trying to talk you into buying graphics cards. I need to buy a TV to catch up to you.
Yeah, you guys got them cheap down there.
But yeah, that's the only thing I did. And so now the only problem I have to solve now is I want to do the same thing for the office because I have one more output from the living room. So I'll probably have to get a wire from the laundry room to the office. And that way all 4 TVs in my house sync up together. And I'll have audio and the TVs all synced up, which will be really nice.
Very nice. Very nice.
Nice.
Let us know what new TV you got.
I was looking at some Hisense. There was like some Hisense with some Vita OS I've never heard of, and it was like $140 for like a 50-inch. And I was like, hey, as long as it's got IP control, that's all I care about. I was looking on Facebook, as I do every single day, 20 times a day, and somebody posted a 2-year-old commercial display from NEC. It is a 43-inch. So it definitely has IP control.
Oh yeah.
Probably doesn't have speakers, which I don't care about because I'm using Sonos anyway. For $100.
There you go.
So I'm probably gonna go pick this up.
Yeah.
Commercial display
it'll
will
definitely have IP
absolutely
control.
have-
It'll have all sorts
sure.
of control for that one. Like it'll have just like open protocol control on that, and then you also you probably have RS-232.
I'm not gonna use that stuff. I'm too young for that.
Come on,
No. I don't even think Home Assistant supports RS-232.
it probably does.
It does.
No.
Yeah. See.
Stop it,
It
Gavin.
does. Buy a device.
Don't help him out. No, I'm using IP control. IP control is so reliable, Seth. I think everybody should be using it. If you're a professional and you're not using IP control.
Well, yeah. Get that one. That'll work. That'll make it happen.
For $100,
Yeah.
that's not bad.
Can't be bad. I mean, it could be. I stepped on my monitor this week and it broke.
You stepped on your monitor. How did you step on a monitor?
I had one on the floor and I didn't. I was gonna put it on my desk and like it got stepped on. So
Was it a good one or was it like an old one?
it was an old one. I didn't really care for it.
Was it your 55-inch wall your 55-inch TV,
that's-
Seth? You can tell
you
us.
can step on that. It's got like a covering or something on it that makes it
Oh.
childproof. No, it was like a Dell curved one. Whoops, stepped on it.
Oopsies.
It was very heavy. I'm glad it's out of the garage now. It's taking up a lot of space. Didn't have room for. But I thought I was going to hang it up on my desk here for this new computer. And no, it didn't happen. I turned it on. I was like, whoops, I must have stepped on that because I can see the footprint. And and that screen is really cracked when I turn it on.
You held your shoe up to it and you're like, yep, that's definitely my shoe.
The evidence is in.
Same tread.
I've got a couple other computer monitors in here, believe it or not. So I'm not really missing out on anything, but I don't know. kind of bummed out that I stepped on that one. Oh well. Oh, I did have one more thing that I worked on. Yeah, and I'm probably gonna have to. So I got my Christmas tree in, right. I don't want to complain about it. But it did the song all right. So I have a music background. I started with music education in college. The songs are wrong.
Are you talking about the Apollo automation ornament?
Yeah. The notes are wrong on the songs.
Oh man,
I don't get it. So you can. What's nice is it's an open platform. You can update it. So I updated it with some different songs. I've got to find. Evidently, it had 3 songs on it. You can press and hold the long button, and there's a song there. And then you can double click the button, and there's a song there. And you can single click the button, and there's a song there. And all 3 of them had wrong notes on them. I don't understand. I don't know. It's just ringtone stuff, and you can go in and edit it. And I will submit a
pull request. Yes, yeah. I challenge you to do that.
Yeah, I'll do it. The problem is I want more notes, and it only lets you have 255 characters, and then you have to figure out what notes to get rid of. To make it work right. And I'm editing this. I don't know if you guys remember this. It's like a Nokia thing, or Nokia, I guess how it's pronounced, from way back in the day, called RTTTL, I think. It was an old way that you can express ringtones for the phones, and used to have all sorts of ways of getting those into your phone. And I was just kind of surprised that it looks like the ESP boards use that and kind of convert it over to the little speaker sound, which makes sense, I guess. But yeah, some of the notes are wrong. I don't know. It's like Jingle Bells. It's the wrong note. But anyway, I will fix them and send them a pull request over. So, but it's a great little product. I put Feliz Navidad on one of them, which is great.
Oh,
so yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna get mine flashed this weekend so I can add some Home Assistant.
Cool. All right, well, I think that's gonna wrap up everything this week. We do want to give a big thank you to everyone who supports the show, but especially those who are able to financially support the show through our Patreon page. If you don't know about the Patreon page, head on over to HomeTech.fm/support, where you learn how you can support HomeTech for as little as $1 a month. Any pledge over $5 a month gets you a big shout out here on the show, but every single pledge gets an invite to our private Slack chat, The Hub, where you and everyone else can gather in there and see what boxes TJ is shipping stuff in, because it's
always random.
Very random.
Depends on what I have that day.
Yeah. If you want to help out but can't support financially, totally understand. Just appreciate a 5-star review or a positive rating in whatever podcast app of your choice to help other people find the show. That's going to wrap up everything this week. Everybody have a great weekend, and we will see you next week.
Till next time.
Take care.